National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence was a very important institution in alcohol and ultimately other drugs. It was founded by a woman who achieved long-term sobriety, the first woman to achieve long-term sobriety in Alcoholics Anonymous. And what she experienced was a stigma going around the country, and her name was Marty Mann. And she went around the country and saw the stigma that alcoholics were not treated as sick people; they were treated as bums and people with no character and no willpower. And so her vision was to create an institution of education and information and services that changed that. And indeed, the history of the National Council, along with the Christopher D. Smithers Foundation and others, was to create legislation, which ultimately created institutions like the National Institute on Alcoholism and Alcohol Abuse, for research, for getting more knowledge, for educational programs in the community, school programs, community programs, faith-based programs. Again, was to blitz the community with information activities that changed attitudes, changed beliefs, changed the notion of addiction. And there was this period where that did happen. And then it began to slide. I think it was trumped by the notion of illicit drugs. Because alcohol is a legal drug, alcohol began to slide it began to shift in the early mid, late 80s and early 90s. And I think a lot of reasons. Well, there was nothing that addressed this problem. There was always, there was everything that addressed it. There were treatment centers, detox wards, independent consultants, and I think I really believe it was greed-driven, and everybody was going to make a buck off the suffering alcoholic, and I believe that. And so, and there were people going into 49 detoxes and 22 rehabs, and there was no accountability and responsibility, again. And so there was a backlash. When does this stop? I mean, when do you get people to assume responsibility and take control of their lives? And I think that there are a lot of abuses. And what now seems to be the response to that, and I think it's an important response, is the notion of the recovering community of people in recovery being vocal and being visible from all walks of life. People can and do recover. They've been doing it for years and years in a variety of ways. One of the things that Marty Mann said while she was head of the National Council, there are many pathways to recovery, and there are. But the fact exists that there are thousands of taxpayers, government officials, heads of corporations, heads of organizations who stay sober every single day.